I would say life is too short to not be passionate about something. Pick something, be passionate about it, and put everything into it.
Yeah.
There's just so many people who just show up for a job Monday morning, a job they hate because they got to pay bills.
Yeah.
So they're working to pay bills in a job they hate, and maybe in a house they hate. Life is too short for that.
Yeah.
If you're not happy doing what you're doing, then change it.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. Championship Leadership Podcast. We got Morad Fiki out of Houston, Texas. Thanks for being here, brother.
Man, thanks for having me. This is awesome.
Yeah,
Thank you so
absolutely. So let's jump into it. Championship Leadership is the name of the podcast. What comes to mind for you? What does championship leadership mean to you when you hear that?
Leadership can just go so many different ways. Leadership could be leading troops into battle. You're a veteran like myself, and thank you for your service, by the way. Veterans Day just passed.
Thank you, brother. Yeah, absolutely.
So I think about the military, I think about leadership, and then also in business. Business requires leadership. Someone has to take the helm and lead the organization to success or failure.
Yeah, definitely. Well, talk maybe just a little bit about, because you said you were enlisted as a Marine and then became an officer in the Navy. So you kind of were a part of both worlds. I enlisted in the Army first as well, but I went through basic training, enlisted, and then found out about officer candidate school and kind of joined that shortly after. So my enlisted time was very short. But,
Wow.
there's leadership throughout the military, right? So, was there any differences that you experienced in the two?
Yeah. Did they let you go to OCS like within your first year of being enlisted?
Yeah, well, they did, because I had like 3 or 4 years of college under my belt already. And so they had the OCS program. If you had like 90 credits, and a few other things, you could do that. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, no, in the Marines, I had guys who were enlisted and had their college degree.
Really?
And they're going to make you finish your term, and then
that sounds like the Marines, though. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was horrible. I tell my buddy, like, dude, why didn't you go to officer candidate school? Oh, well, they thought I should become enlisted, and then I'm like, of course they told you that,
Yeah, of course, right?
You should have gone to the Naval Academy or something.
Yeah.
But no, it was great. I enlisted in the Marines straight out of high school. I didn't have any plan. I didn't have any idea of what I was going to do upon graduation. So I didn't want to be a loser like my friends who were selling dope on the streets, and I didn't want to be a loser like my friends who were selling dope on the streets and just, going to jail and stuff like that. So I didn't have a college fund. I didn't have anything set up. And then when I met the Marine Corps recruiter and he said, I could get GI Bill and benefits like that, I knew I was eventually going to go to college.
Yeah.
But I was like, dude, where do I sign?
Yeah.
And next thing I know, I'm on the yellow footprints in Marine Corps Recruit Depot, San Diego.
Yeah.
And they're yelling at me. And I was like, oh my God, what am I doing?
Right.
How did I get here? This is horrible. But it turns out it was the best decision I made in my life. Coming from a broken household and a fatherless home, all of us recruits in Marine Corps Recruit Depots, San Diego, we're the misfits.
Yeah.
We're not the guys with the rich families and connected to the senators. Those guys go to the Naval Academy.
Right. Yeah.
So we're like trailer trash and, fatherless homes and divorced parents and all this stuff. But they taught us, like, I don't care what happened, this nation depends on you. You're going to stand tall. You're going to hold your head up high. You're going to pick your jaw up off the ground. We're going to beat it out of you. We're going to teach you how to have pride. And it was the first time, for many of us that someone, cared enough to break us down and build us back up.
Yeah.
It was great, So I did 4 years active duty, and then, I went to college, got my degree, and then I became a naval officer. So.
Okay. All right. That's a cool path that you took there. Well, tell us a little more about that path and how, you've gotten to where you are today and what you do today.
Yeah, so I sell luxury homes here in Houston, Texas. I sell a little bit of everything. I've sold some commercial. I do a little bit of multifamily apartment investing, but mainly the scope of my focus is beautiful high-end luxury residential homes. And I love it. I love it. I'm
Yeah.
having fun. I've never been in a career where you could be at the bottom and be on top of the world, and then you lose a
Right.
deal and you're like, what happened?
Yeah. Yeah.
Dealing with buyers and sellers and just all the emotions that go through that. But I love it, especially some of these homes that we sell are some of the most beautiful in Houston, Texas. And
That's incredible. Yeah. I love Houston area too. I got an uncle down there and there in Cyprus, but yeah, I've been down there a number of times to meet, to see him, and love that area, except for the traffic. Could do without that. Traffic's
oh man, the
horrendous.
traffic's horrible.
Yeah.
If you've seen $1 Million Listing, the show,
Yeah.
that's me, but in Houston.
Okay. Yeah.
$1 Million
Yeah.
Listing. That's me. That is my life right there.
Yeah. I love it. I got a guy, a good friend. His name is Jason Williford. You ever heard of him? He's in Miami, but he's in the luxury real estate down in Miami. Should connect you to. He wrote a book here recently called The Real Estate Machine. I'm trying to wonder if I got it in here.
Real Estate Machine. I might have heard of that.
Yeah, I'll shoot you a copy of it.
Yeah, I'd love to check.
But yeah,
that
I'll
out.
make that connection. He's a good dude.
For sure.
In Miami. But
I love that.
who are some of the championship leaders that have impacted you, and more so, like, what are some of the characteristics that really have stood out to you from them that maybe have helped mold who you are as a leader?
Well, there's so many of them. I would say in recent times in the business world, definitely look up to Grant Cardone.
Yeah.
He's a big real estate guy, owns about $5.5 billion of assets in the multifamily space, and just his, I think of him, I think of Superman. That guy keeps going. He never quits, which is why he's been so successful. Tony Robbins has been great, just with the mindset, the motivation, changing your mindset to a more positive aura, and getting away from negative people, from that negative self-talk and limiting beliefs that we grew up around. It's kind of unlearning what you've learned all these years and retraining your subconscious. That's been really powerful. Also Russell Brunson, he's an online digital marketer. I'm just so passionate about digital marketing and learning about taking my business online to the world. I love that. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, those are three big ones that definitely familiar with. That's for sure. What's the vision for you? How do you get into the luxury real estate world, and kind of what's the vision? Because I think championship leaders, they have incredible vision, right? And the courage to take action on it. So what's your vision for what you want to do, what you want to accomplish, and the impact that you want to make through that?
Absolutely. So being in the luxury residential space, I'll say this, the realtor community is very small to start with. And then when you get to the luxury homes, like 1 million plus, it's even smaller. It's really tight knit group of, good old boys club. And a lot of them have been in this business for 30, 40 years. So I'm the new kid on the block, making an impact. And I really wanted to get into this space because I love the homes. I love what they stand for. And I wanted to make an impact. Houston, Texas has no pizzazz or flavor when it comes to luxury real estate and realtors. It's just old school, put it on the MLS. A lot of these agents have been around for 40 plus years. They're well known, but there's no flavor. There's no finesse. And that's what I do. I bring creativity, passion, excellence. And then I bring the latest, greatest digital advertising strategies to bring these properties to the market in ways that no one else does. Awesome. And that's what I love doing in this space.
Yeah. How do you figure all that out? Like, how does, because some people seem to be way more creative than others when it comes to stuff like that.
Well, the way to figure it out is just to be creative. You know, when I got into the space, like there's a lot of players who've been here for a while. So I thought
Sure.
about what can I do that no one else is doing? How can I
Yeah.
get noticed? How can I make an impact where no one else in this space is doing it, and do it in a short amount of time?
Hmm.
And that's through being creative and, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
bringing new advertising and marketing strategies to this space.
Yeah.
I love doing that.
Well, I can see even down to the shirt you got on right now. So like you setting yourself apart from, right. You know, yeah, it's kind of creating that blue ocean, I guess is kind of what I'm hearing you say when it comes
Oh,
to
absolutely.
that market that's already established. And
Absolutely. There's 45,000 realtors who are members of the Houston Association of Realtors.
yeah, that's crazy.
Now,
Yeah.
5% of them do all the deals. 5% do more than 2 sales per year.
Yeah.
So the top 5%, so that brings it down to what, about 2,500 realtors or so.
Yeah.
And then even in that space, going down to luxury is going to be like maybe 250 agents who really do luxury homes. So it's, it's a really tight space.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a bloody water.
Oh,
but
yeah.
how do I add value in ways that
Yeah.
no one else can? And that's being all over social media. I've been able to build a massive following of over 200,000 people on social media in such a short
That's
time
awesome.
that I've been in real estate. And that's
Yeah.
just being creative and you know, bringing it to the online space.
Yeah. Love it, man. What's a critical moment for you? Like, fork in the road where obviously you made the decision you did, where has you where you are today, but you know, had you made a different decision, being a completely different path? Yeah, I think there's a lot of people in that moment. There's always strength from hearing other people's stories.
Absolutely. So a fork in the road for me, when I, you know, I would say probably, so I went through a reduction in force when President Obama sent home about 100,000 troops. That really happened. So people were like, oh, you know, these politicians just, you know, give these. No, he really did. Like, I was a part of that. So, you know, we got a pink slip that we're going home. And, you know, it was just a huge shift because I'd always thought, or at least at that point in time, I was going to make a career in the military.
Yeah.
So, you know, I was like, oh gosh, I don't know what to do. And so I started, you know, sending applications to different corporations here in Houston. The oil and gas business is pretty big. And, you know, I thought maybe I'll get a corporate job. But the thing is, when they look at your experience, your resume, they're like, oh, he's a veteran. Hey, thank you for your service. But your service really doesn't apply here. You know, like I have a degree in accounting and finance. It's like, but you haven't done any accounting and finance. You know, you were in the flight training program, you were in the Marines. Like, what have you done in accounting? And they were right. I hadn't done anything, but I'm like, hey, I'm a fast learner. You're like, oh, you know, the next company will hire you, I'm sure. But everyone was saying that.
Yeah.
But then, you know, my wife had seen, she was a big fan of $1 Million Listing. She was like, you could do that. You could totally do that. You're way better than those guys. I was like, you know, I got my real estate license. And she was like, really? And I was like, oh yeah. When I was on underground, I got my license. I never practiced because I went into the Navy. But I got my license. It's something I could, you know, fall back on. And then I said, you know, I'm going to do this. I'm going to pursue my dreams of becoming a real estate mogul in Houston. Yeah. And so I went all in. That was a fork in the road because it's like,
absolutely.
When you do I go the traditional route, just get a corporate job and, you know, work for 20, 30 years, retire, or do I start business, which has been very up and down and turbulent. And there's just a lack of security there, but it's also exciting.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I love it, man. That's a great story. And so when was that? When did you make that decision?
In 2013.
13.
Yeah.
All right.
I just got married. You know, we got married December 2014. I was released from active duty end of February of 2013. So, I mean, we knew it was coming because I had like 6 months notice. We knew it was coming before we got married. But that's when she was like, you could do that. You could totally do it. She's like, have you seen the show $1 Million Listing? And I was like, let me look this up, you know? And then, you know, she's like, you can totally do that. And I was like, I got a real estate license. I mean, I don't even have to go get it. I just got to activate it. And she's like, what?
It was meant to be, man.
Yeah,
Meant to be. That's awesome.
It's been great. It's been great.
That's incredible. Well, what's as we wrap this up, if there's like one or two things that you could leave the listeners with, kind of I don't know, guiding principles, right, in life, that if they were to take action on today would help move their life forward today, would that be?
I would say life is too short to not be passionate about something. You know, pick something, be passionate about it, and put everything into it.
Yeah.
There's just so many people who just show up for a job Monday morning, a job they hate because they got to pay bills. Yeah. So they're working to pay bills in a job they hate, and maybe in a house they hate. You know, life is too short for that. Yeah. If you're not happy doing what you're doing, then change it. Yeah. You know, pick what you're passionate about and what you really want to do, take action, and then put everything into it. And if that's starting a business, it's going to be difficult. You know, starting a business is not easy. Yeah. Being successful in business is not easy. If it was, everybody would do it. Yep. You know, absolutely. But if you never quit, you'll never fail.
Amen to that. I love that. That's a great note to end on. What's the main place we could go to find out more about you and what you do with the $1 Million Listings in Houston, Texas?
Oh man, appreciate it. I will say you can always find me at the premier website for luxury homes in Houston, Texas, HoustonLuxuryRealEstate.com. That's HoustonLuxuryRealEstate.com. Very easy. You can find me there. You can also find me on MoradFiki.com. That's MoradFiki.com. And you can pick your favorite social media platform. I'm on all of them.
All of them.
Find me on TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I'm on all of them. Whichever is your favorite platform, hit me up on there. I would love to connect with you. And thank you so much for putting me on your show. I really appreciate it. It means the world to me.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you want to hear more incredible content from people like Morad Fiki, stick around, listen to this next episode coming up right now. And we will appreciate you being here, Morad. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, Nate.